Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Sure is great to see you here today, and I'm glad you dropped by. Have you been to the Chinese restaurant lately? They're all pretty much the same. There are some exceptions, but to find a really good one, it's not easy anymore these days. One of the reasons is they all use the same food vendor. They all use the same menu printers, and everything's boilerplate. I mean, and half the Chinese restaurants don't even have real Chinese people working there anymore, at least around where I live. When I was a teenager growing up in southwest Houston, in the Galleria area, there was a place downtown called Sun Deluxe Chinese Restaurant. And you could always tell when you were getting close to the place because you could smell the alley in the back walking up to it. But they had the best doggone Chinese food. It wasn't the same as all the other places. And we would go down there at night after doing whatever, going to a concert, getting into trouble, whatever we did. We'd pile into my friend's van and we'd go down there to Sun Deluxe, and we'd get a great big bowl of crispy fried noodles, and it was something I can still remember today, and it's been 30 or 40 years ago. Anyway, I was in the grocery store and I ran across this Knorrs lo mein noodles in a sweet teriyaki sauce. This package of Knorrs noodles cooks in about 7 minutes. It has no artificial flavors or preservatives, no added MSG except those naturally occurring glutamates. Looks like it has 260 calories per cup served, 520 for the whole package. I think you get about 2 servings in here. Total fat, 2 grams or 3%. That's in a half a serving. Saturated fat, 0% in a half a serving. Cholesterol, 0% in a half a serving. Sodium, 610 milligrams or 27% in a half a serving. Total carbohydrates, 20% or 54 grams in a half a serving. Dietary fiber, 3 grams or 11% in a half a serving. Total sugars, 4 grams or 8%. Protein, 8 grams in a half a serving. Vitamin D, 0%. Calcium, 0%. Iron, 2.3 milligrams or 15%. Potassium, 340 milligrams or 8%. Thiamine, 0.5 milligrams or 40%. Riboflavin, 0.2 milligrams or 15%. Niacin, 3.9 milligrams or 25%. Folate, 210 milligrams or 50%. So that's the nutritional value on this Knorrs teriyaki noodles. And I'm a fan of Knorrs. Everything I've had of theirs has been pretty well good. I've enjoyed it. So I thought, well, I'm going to pick this up and try to make a Chinese meal out of it. So I got this. I'm going to cook this. I'm going to show you all the nutritional value. I don't know how nutritional this stuff is going to be. I like water chestnuts, so I got a can of these Reese water chestnuts. Okay, so these Reese sliced water chestnuts, mild taste, satisfying crunch, no GMO verified, and these have about 45 calories per serving. That's 2 servings per container, and I used about half of these. Half a third of a cup drained, 71 grams. Total fat, 0. Total carbs, 9 grams, 3%. Saturated fat, 0. Dietary fiber, 3 grams or 12%. Trans fat 0 grams. Total sugars 2 grams. Cholesterol 0%. Sodium 1%. Protein 1 gram. Vitamin D 0%. Calcium 0%. Iron 0%. And potassium 2%. So basically what you're getting here is a can of crunch. I got this Ben's Original Ready Rice Jasmine. I think just pop this in the microwave. You know, this is Ben's Original Ready Rice Jasmine, but it'll always be Uncle Ben's to me. I don't care how woke you want to go with the label, but Ben's Original Ready Rice Jasmine, microwave, 90 seconds per pouch, and 250 calories per 143 grams served, 420 per pouch. So you get about 2 servings in here. Total fat 2.5 grams or 3%. This is per serving. Saturated fat 0%. Cholesterol 0%. Sodium 0%. Total carbohydrates 51 grams or 19%. Dietary fiber 1 gram or 4%. Total sugars added 0%. Vitamin D 0%. Calcium 20 milligrams or 0%. Iron 0.5 milligrams or 2%. Potassium 90 milligrams or 0%. So really not much here other than jasmine rice, and it tastes great. And I got, of course, some Choi crispy noodles. So these Choi chicken chow mein crispy noodles, about 130 calories per serving. Total fat 5 grams or 6%. Saturated fat 2 grams or 10%. Cholesterol 0%. Sodium 240 milligrams or 10%. Total carbohydrates 19 grams or 7%. Dietary fiber less than 1 gram or 2%. Total sugars 0%. Vitamin D 0%. Calcium 0%. Iron 11 milligrams or 6%. Potassium 0 milligrams. So that's the nutritional value you get here. This isn't going to be anything like a Sun Deluxe meal, but I'm going to just see. It's cheap. I mean, I think $1.46, right around $2. Another $1.30 or 40, and another $1.15. So let's put this all together and see what it tastes like and do a review on it. And I'll be back with you guys here in just a little bit after I do a little bit of microwave magic in the kitchen. Okay everyone, it took me about 10 minutes to whip this up. Got my jasmine rice, long grain, and I got my Knorrs teriyaki noodles with my added water chestnuts. And when I opened the bag for the Knorrs, I noticed little flakes of, if you can get a good look at this, there were little flakes of freeze-dried carrot and I think celery and some onion flakes, but it smelled kind of nutty. But as it cooked, the smell of kind of sweet and sour teriyaki started coming through, and so the noodles look kind of like the noodles that you would get in a Lipton chicken noodle freeze-dried. They're not very thick, but I'm going to add some of my own crunch with these Choi crunchy noodles, and I'm either going to come away from this feeling pretty daggone smart or pretty daggone stupid. We'll find out here in a minute. I'll give you an honest opinion of what I think. I'm going to probably eat it either way because I'm hungry, but If it tastes good, I'm going to tell you. And if it doesn't taste good, I'm going to tell you that too. So this rice took about 2 minutes in the microwave. And looks pretty good. Oh, that's way more rice than I wanted to eat. I'm sorry, I stuffed some of it back in the bag. There we go. And I'm going to dump out. And it thickened up pretty good. As it was cooking, it was bubbling. It was kind of soupy looking, but I thought as I got it cooked, that it has pretty good thickness, and hopefully I'll get some crunch out of the water chestnuts. And so there's what my homemade Chinese concoction tastes like. And I gotta tell you, from what I've been getting in the Chinese restaurant lately, this probably won't be any worse than some of the slop I've had recently. And let me try some of this rice on its own. And it's a little bit sticky like Chinese rice. Has a really good flavor, that rice does. A good chew. Oh, I see a little piece of carrot in this bite. Tastes like teriyaki. It's not really sweet, but it has a little bit of sweetness to it. I'm getting a little bit of back flavor, kind of like fish, as I start to swallow. Not overpoweringly, but I'm sensing that they maybe put some oyster sauce or something like that. Here's a bite that has my water chestnut. Good crunch. I would call this a poor man's trip to the Chinese restaurant. It's probably no worse than some of the MREs I've seen consumed on YouTube. I've been watching a lot of MRE videos. I'm trying to see what people are interested in out there. I'm still going to cook some food, but I've got some ideas for some really cool videos. This really isn't coming across my palate as like I've had the Choi chicken chow mein. That stuff is gnarly in my opinion. This has a good flavor. And I guessed it would because it's made by Knorrs, and like I said, anything I've had from them has been good. I'm going to do some reviews on some of their soups. The more I'm getting into the teriyaki, the better I'm liking it. Would I make this again? I probably would. The one thing that's missing in this meal is protein. You could take, oh, and by the way, I'm sure this would feed too, because I've still got half of it in the kitchen. I'm not going to be able to eat all this. Let me see if my wife wants some. But I think if you cut up about a third of a chicken breast, or maybe a half of a chicken breast, into small pieces and hammered it out, kind of flattened it, cook it with some soy sauce, and then, okay, when I added the water chestnut, the noodles had finished cooking, so I didn't cook these into the noodles, but during the last 2 minutes they say to let this sit so it thickens up, and it does thicken up, and that's when I put the water chestnuts in. I'm, enjoying this. If I had to give it a rating, I'd probably give it 7.5 out of 10. It's definitely a thumbs up. I bought these ingredients a couple of weeks ago, and I left them sitting on the kitchen counter. To remind me to make this video, and I kept putting it off because I thought, this is probably going to be a mistake. But now that I'm eating it, it was no mistake. And I think I'd even take it a step further when I make it again. And I will make it again. I'll get some snow peas. I'll get some chicken. I'll get some of those baby corns and some more of these water chestnuts, and I'll make a meal out of this. It's not the sort of thing you'd want to add soy sauce to, in my opinion. You want to keep the sweetness, and it's also not the sort of thing that I think you want to add scrambled egg to. Just my opinion. But you could whip up some fried rice. You could turn this ready rice into some fried rice with soy sauce, and you could break an egg in it and you could serve it on the side like that. I know this is cheating, because I've seen some really good Chinese food prepared on YouTube. But that wasn't my purpose in making this video. My purpose in making this video was putting something together fast and inexpensive, and to kind of give a hint of Chinese food. It's certainly no worse than anything I've had at, oh, I can't even remember that fast food Chinese restaurant. They're all over the place. Kind of reminds me of something you'd get there. Oh, you could make some, cook up some little leaves of, my mind is not working today, broccoli, some little broccoli leaves in here. I mean, all kind of ways you could doctor this up, add protein to it, and make a nice little meal out of it, inexpensively. You can't even go to the Chinese restaurant these days. I remember back when I was working, we could go get Chinese lunch for $7 or $8 because they all had lunch specials. Those days are gone. But I put this together for probably, I'd say, $6 to $8, and it's not disappointing me at all. So anyway, I'm gonna cut back and finish eating my lunch here because I am kind of hungry. But I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate all the growth of the channel from you guys. And I'm starting to get comments on some of these videos. I appreciate that. I'm inching up closer to that 1,000 mark where I'm going to be giving away those Jersey Mike gift cards. And the channel's growing quicker than I thought it would. And I appreciate that, guys. So what I want to do is I want to say, God bless you. Enjoy good food. And take care of yourselves. I hope to see you soon, and I'm glad I saw you today. And until next time, God bless.